So we're just going into the longest tunnel, which is approximately 20 meters down. And you can see how tight it is from Murat in front.
We're Marianne and Chris. In May 2018, we quit the 9 to 5, rented our house to travel full time.
Welcome to Turkey!
Due to the pandemic, our attempt to drive around the world has been put on pause.
Finding ourselves in Turkey, we are going to show you the best this country has to offer. This afternoon we have come to Kaymakli. Is that correct?
Kaymakli.
Oh, Kaymakli, which is one of the underground cities here in Cappadocia. It's one of the main sites to see. There are how many underground cities are there?
120.
120 underground cities, and apparently you can visit 26 of them.
Yes.
There's 6 well-known ones, and today we're visiting this one with Murat, who is under the face mask. We've all got to wear the face mask today, unfortunately, but we are here. But because we're going in a confined space, we all have to wear face masks, and we're super excited. It's nice to have a guide, Murat, from Zoendos Travel, who's showing us around today.
There's a small model here to give an example on our mind how the underground city is made inside. Actually, the underground city is digged by the Hittite civilizations approximately 1300 BC.
Wow.
And the main reason to dig this incredible place for hiding, for the defense from the attacks.
So entrance is 50 Turkish lira per person. So the first part that we've come in would actually be for the animals, and they had it by the entrance because obviously the animals produce waste and a bit of smell. They needed access to the outside, so the animals are right up on the ground level.
This would be where their food would be, and they'd be able to walk straight in. So this is their eating area.
Stables!
Stables!
So we're going down, and we're going to go, how deep are we going to go? 35 meters?
Approximately 35 meters, 37 meters.
Wow.
Entrance tunnel and the exit tunnel is different, totally different. Then there are 2 arrows, okay? The red arrows show us the entrances, and the different part, the blue arrows show us
the exit. So from a security perspective, they actually created this underground city a bit like a maze, and there are so many tunnels coming off that it would be really hard to find your way around. It would be very easy to get lost. They also have these wonderful security stones, which we will show you as we get further into the cave. But absolutely fascinating place. And you can't imagine 30 meters plus down. It must have taken them a long time to make it.
Actually, this kind of formation still today is unknown.
So this is like a private area, maybe a bedroom or something for some of the soldiers. So on the floors they've got all these holes so that in an attack people could just drop to the next level.
This is the grave spot. During the attacks, each underground city dig for 3,000 people, 4,000 people. They could be hide inside the underground city for 3 months.
Wow.
During the attacks, they were under attack. That's why they couldn't exit whenever they want. That's why during the attacks, in case if someone died, they were putting this inside these graves because they were covering with soil. Someone dies still today. After 2 or 3 days, start to get bad smelling.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why protecting inside the underground from bad smelling from that. They will make a graves here for temporary. Okay. They were keeping inside. When the attacks finished, when they were going back to normal life, they were taking this
outside
to the
floor.
It's a proper burial. So although this structure is believed to be about 1300 years BC, there is actually remnants of a church And that shows that Christians used this facility. Christians would have added this at a
But
later
what
date.
Murat's saying as well is that in all over society, world society, cultures, when they overtook another or conquered another one, they would actually destroy all remnants and all kind of archaeology and any history. But here in Cappadocia, you can find evidence of all the civilizations, so they were much more accepting. And in fact, he was saying that things would be used for other purposes, but also they would add on an altar if they needed one, and they wouldn't just destroy everything, but they would just add and build, a bit like an extension. When you take over a building, you add it.
It really is a maze. Oh, you gotta squat down.
Sorry, I meant for the bear.
I just said to Murat, it's good because I don't really feel claustrophobic here, because I can get a little bit claustrophobic, and he went, actually, we're just about to start the tunnels. Yeah.
Wow, look, it's literally a maze, and this is very unique. It's the only part in the world that they have these structures. So we're entering the tunnels, and yes, as a 6'3" man, it's a bit tight, but they made it this way. They weren't small people. They made it this way so that people, when they're attacking, they couldn't send lots of troops in quickly. They had to move slowly. But you can see how low they are. Wowzers.
Oh, my favourite room. It's the winery. We've seen the grapes out in the fields when we were out hiking, but Murat was explaining that this is actually where they would be making, storing and fermenting the wine. So here is where the grapes would go. They would tread on the grapes in here, and then the liquid would come out here, would be collected, and then in these areas over here, instead of going into barrels, they would actually be fermenting in here. And that's why the Cappadocian wine tastes different. It's not aged in barrels, it would be aged in a cave rock. Yes.
And that would hold quite a lot of wine.
Yes. One of the most.
So this whole area is for wine.
Yeah, there's lots of vats.
This is definitely, must be one of the best places to be, right?
Yeah.
Wine coming out
If
everywhere.
you're being invaded, I would be in that room.
But you can see the tunnels there, look, going off. So this is a great example of the stone defense that they would have had. They would have made these down here, and they would have rolled these stones to block the various tunnels from attack. Ingenious way. And historically, they never actually fully got invaded, because each floor, they could just roll this wheel across, and they've got so many of them, it would be very, very hard to penetrate. It's hard to imagine that 3,000 to 4,000 people would live down here, and they literally had everything covered. So this area here would probably have been a storeroom. Absolutely fascinating. I've never seen anywhere like this before. So we're just going into the longest tunnel, which is approximately 20 meters down. And you can see how tight it is from Murat in front. Wow. It's just amazing to see how they made such a big city.
This is the ventilation shaft.
Ah, so this is one of the ventilation shafts, which goes all the way up.
And look down.
And look down.
How many meters going down?
Wow! How deep is this? That is amazing. What a structure. To think they built this city that far down. Truly amazing. And they reckon that they've only discovered about 7% of this underground city because they don't really know where the rest of it starts and finishes.
There's no way anyone can have a fight in here.
No. Wow. Look, and it just goes off there, rooms here.
Yeah, here is another winery. Yeah, look.
More wine. Oh yes, here.
Oh, winery.
Pressing the grapes.
They liked their wine. So we've arrived at the deepest part of this underground city at 37 meters. Now that is the deepest part that we're able to go as a visitor. The city is believed to be 100 meters deep, and you can see all the tunnels going off behind us, and that really is so deep. Amazing. I'm amazed at this place.
And he's not easily amazed.
I'm not easily impressed, but this is absolutely fascinating. I can't imagine how long it would have taken them to dug this out.
And I can't imagine living here.
Yeah, can you imagine being in here for 3 months when you're under attack?
Massive.
These are the living quarters. Very big. Coming up here. Lots of rooms coming off.
Oh look, and you can see there's like a bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can imagine. That would have been somebody's bed.
There you go. There's a bed up there in the corner. So Murat was explaining that people didn't really live here. They just came here when they were under attack. And with so many entrances, hiding places, it would have been impossible to find people down here. But look, it's just, you really cannot imagine how big this network of tunnels is. Here we go. I'm a-coming. Look!
Wow.
So this area that we've entered now is the kitchen area. They wouldn't have been able to cook as we know it regularly with fire because it produces smoke, and smoke tells the enemy where you are. So they would have relied a lot on dried goods. It's just such a maze.
Well, that was part of their defence, wasn't it?
Yeah, but can you imagine trying to come in here and attack them? No chance.
You wouldn't find anyone.
Yeah, but
Well, that's the point.
what an amazing place.
The great-grandfather of the iPhone, it's known as the iPhone
20.
20. Before WhatsApp or any other social media network, they had these tunnels. They had these big tubes that would echo messages. So as people were under attack and they needed to let the cave systems know that there were soldiers coming and that they needed to flee, they would be shouting, "Save yourselves!" And it would echo throughout the cave system. It was interlinked, and that's how they would communicate the dangers. Fascinating.
They thought of everything, haven't they?
They really have. The grandfather of the iPhone.
Look, and you've got to go down to go up.
Gotta go down to go up.
Then we're off. There's rooms and tunnels everywhere.
Wow. I literally can't believe how stunning. Oh, is that another one of the stones? Oh, it's another stone for the door.
Yeah, they got the security. There you go. There'd be another one there on its side.
And as the alarm came through, people would start sealing the doors.
Wow.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's phenomenal, isn't it?
How nice, they put ladders in for us. We're back up to daylight.
Oh, it's bright.
That was absolutely amazing. If you do come to Cappadocia, you have to visit one of the underground cities for that experience. Marianne's claustrophobic. How was that for you?
It was fine. I just kept following Murat.
There you go. And that, my logic is the structure's been there for thousands of years. So I'm sure it's going to be there for another day. Oh, you're still there. That's it. It is the end of the show. We hope you've enjoyed this episode exploring the underground city. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more, make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss a video, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.